Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. I'm so wretched that I have not accepted devotional service. Since I am devoid of devotional service, how will I become happy by seeing you? Mukunda said, I am an unfortunate person, devoid of the Lord's service. Therefore, I have not accepted the importance of devotional service with my body, mind, and speech. Devotional service is full of bliss. I am devoid of devotional service. So how will I achieve happiness by seeing you? Duryodhana saw your universal form, which some people search throughout the Vedas to see. Duryodhana's darshana of the universal form is described as follows. Desiring to avoid unnecessary battle, Maharaja Yudhishthira sent Lord Krishna as a messenger to Duryodhana, the head of the Kauravas, prior to the commencement of the battle of Kurukshetra, and proposed that the kingdom be divided in half to maintain peace. Duryodhana did not agree to this proposal and conspired to arrest Lord Krishna. As a result, Lord Krishna became angry and said to Duryodhana, "O Duryodhana, you desire to arrest me, considering that I am alone. But such a desire is completely foolish. Just behold, all the Pandavas, Antakas, Vrishnis, Adityas, Rudra's, Vasu's, and sages are all present." After speaking in this way, Lord Krishna loudly laughed, and the demigods, Pandavas, Antakas, and Vrishnis, who were all as effulgent as fire and resembled a thumb in size, began to appear from the body of Lord Krishna. In this way, Lord Krishna agitated, shocked, and frightened Duryodhana by manifesting his universal form, and then left the assembly. Yet even after seeing the universal form of the Lord, Duryodhana along with his family were all killed. He did not obtain any happiness because he was devoid of devotional service. Persons who are engrossed in material concepts consider this material world as the temporary, universal form of the Lord. Although Duryodhana, who was enriched in material knowledge, saw such a universal form of the Lord, he was killed along with his family because he was cheated from seeing the actual form of the Lord. Although due to his piety, Duryodhana saw the Lord within the material world, created by the external energy of the Lord. Since he did not see the actual form of the Lord, but rather considered the Lord material, he could not become inclined towards the service of the Lord. That is why it was impossible for Duryodhana to achieve any devotional happiness. Rather, since he was averse to the service of the Lord, he was destroyed along with his family as a mark of punishment. I am so wretched that I have not accepted devotional service. Since I am devoid of devotional service, how will I achieve love of God by seeing you? When you went to kidnap Rukmini, all the kings saw you riding on the back of Garuda. During the Abhisheka named Raja Rajeshwara, all the kings saw your effulgent form. In the city of Vidarbha, you manifested your form that personalities like Lord Brahma desire to see. In spite of seeing your form, all those kings were killed. They could not achieve any happiness because they were devoid of devotional service. The kidnapping of Rukmini by Lord Krishna is described as follows. Rukmini Devi, the manifestation of Lakshmi, appeared as the daughter of Bhishmaka, the king of Vidarbha. She heard about the beauty and the qualities of Lord Krishna from various persons and became attached to him within her mind. Considering Shri Krishna as a suitable groom, King Bhishmaka resolved to give Rukmini to him in charity. At that time, Rukmini's brother Rukmi, who was envious of Krishna, forbade his father and fixed Shishupala as the groom. On hearing this, Rukmini became extremely distressed, and in order to convey her attachment for Krishna, she sent him a letter through a reliable Brahmana. She also requested that Krishna should kidnap her before Shishupala comes to marry her, and she informed him as to how that should be done. When Lord Krishna and the Brahmana arrived by chariot in the city of Vidarbha on the day before the marriage, the Brahmana went to Rukmini and informed her of Krishna's arrival and the plan. When, according to family custom, Rukmini went the day before marriage to visit the temple of Goddess Ambika, Lord Krishna immediately placed her on his chariot, defeated the kings who were Shishupala's well-wishers, and departed for his own abode. In your bow form as the personification of sacrifice, you once entered into the water and held the vast earth on your tusks. The demigods desire to see that form of yours. Although Hiranyakasha saw that wonderful form, he did not receive any happiness because he was devoid of devotional service. After universal annihilation, when Lord Brahma, with a desire to create, was absorbed in thought of how to deliver the submerged earth from the waters, the tiny form of Varaha came out of his nostril. Within a moment, the form assumed the size of a large elephant. While searching for the earth by smelling like an animal, he entered into the water and then raised the earth from the Satala by his tusks. At that time, Hiranyakasha came before the Lord with a club in hand in order to stop him, but Lord Varahadeva easily destroyed him. His brother Hiranyakashipu also saw a wonderful and the most confidential manifestation of the Lord, who resides in the heart of Shri Kamala Lakshmi. This wonderful form is renowned in the three words as Narasimhadeva. Yet even after seeing that form, Hiranyakashipu was killed because he was devoid of devotional service. After Hiranyakasha was killed, when his brother Hiranyakashipu began to envy his devotee son Prahlada, Lord Narasimhadeva appeared and destroyed him. I did not care for such a devotional service. In my head did not fall off. This is indeed astonishing. However, Kubaja, the wives of the sacrificial Brahmanas, the women of Mathura and the florists, all able to see your form. They were able to see you simply due to their devotional service. Your Kamsa was destroyed at the same place, in spite of seeing your opulence. The Mathura women's darshana of Krishna is described as follows. After Lord Krishna was brought to Mathura by Akrura, he walked through the streets of Mathura in the company of the cowboys, enjoying the wonderful beauty of the city. At that time, the women of the city immediately left their respective duties and went either to the roofs or to the gates of their houses in order to see Krishna. They already knew about Krishna. Now, after seeing him, their hearts became pacified. The women on the roofs happily showered the flowers on Krishna and praised the gopis for their good fortune of constantly seeing Krishna. The florist's darshana of Krishna is described as follows. With a desire to dress attractively and be adorned with a sandal of power before entering Kamsa's assembly, Lord Krishna went to the house of Sudama, the florist. When Sudama worshipped Lord Krishna with the padya, agya, and the sandal of power, and then offered prayers to him, Lord Krishna was pleased and awarded him his desired benediction. Kubaja's darshana of Krishna is described as follows. After he left the house of Sudama, when Lord Krishna saw Saridari, who was a hunchback, coming towards him on the road with a bowl of sandal of power, he requested her for the sandal of power. Kubaja became overwhelmed on seeing the beauty of Lord Krishna. And after she offered him the thick sandal of power, Lord Krishna pressed the toes of the deformed Sarindari's feet with his feet, and catching hold of her chin, he straightened her backbone. I disrespected such glorious devotional service with my mouth. It is your mercy that I am still alive. The most powerful Shri Ananta effortlessly holds innumerable universes by the influence of this devotional service. He is so intoxicated by chanting your glories that he does not even notice the universes that are resting like a drop on one of his thousands of hooves. Ananta independently maintains everyone. This is possible by the influence of his devotional service. I am so sinful that I did not accept such devotional service. Therefore, I will not achieve the goal of life, even after unlimited birth. On the strength of devotional service, Shankara became the husband of Gauri, and on the strength of devotional service, Narada became the greatest among sages. The devotional service of Gauri's husband is explained in the Brahma Vaivata Purana as follows. When Lord Krishna desired to give Sati as a wife to Shankara, Lord Shiva spoke as follows. O my Lord, I do not wish to have a wife. please give me my desired benediction. My desire for your devotional service is increasing day and night, and I am not satiated by chanting your names and serving your lotus feet. O my Lord, may I constantly sing your most auspicious names and qualities with my 5 mouths, as above in dream or in wakefulness. Material enjoyment, yoga, and austerities do not appeal to my mind, for I wish to eagerly meditate on your enchanting form for millions of kalpas. My happiness is uninterrupted while serving you, offering and chanting your names. But when these activities are finished, my happiness is also. O Lord, O giver of benedictions, please bestow on me the 9 forms of devotional service, so I may constantly remember your pastimes, chant and hear your glories and qualities, meditate on your attractive form, offer obeisances at your lotus feet, surrender fully and eat your lambs. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, the blessed Lord Shiva becomes all the more blessed by bearing on his head the holy waters of the Ganges, which has its source in water that washed the Lord's lotus feet. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, I, Lord Brahma, the other demigods, and the pure-minded sages have all surrendered wholeheartedly unto you, our dear most self and Lord. Let us worship you, the Supreme Lord, to be freed from material life. You are the maintainer of the universe and the cause of its creation and destruction, equipped and perfectly at peace. You are the true friend, self and worshipable Lord. You are one without a second, the shelter of all the worlds and all souls. The devotional service of Narada is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam as follows. Long ago, the great sage Narada took birth from the womb of a maid servant engaged in the service of sages who were following the principles of Vedanta. When the sages were living together during the period of Chaturmasya, Narada steadfastly served them and ate their remnants. As a result, the mirror of his heart was cleansed, and he developed a taste for Bhagavata Dharma. Later on, when those sages were leaving for other places, they instructed him in the most confidential science of the absolute truth. In due course of time, after his mother left her body, Narada gave up all hesitation for loudly chanting the holy names of the Lord. As he traveled alone in that state through many provinces, he once sat down under a tree and through meditation achieved the darshana of Lord Hare. For some time thereafter he served saintly persons and chanted the holy names without expecting any respect, yet ready to offer all respect to others, until he eventually left his body and attained the position of Lord Hari's associate. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So that's the spiritual knowledge we just studied, which is very important for us to obtain happiness. So this book has many wonderful stories. Here I like to introduce some stories because stories are very interesting. Human mind is inclined to hear stories. Stories can express emotions and love in a direct way. So the story of Bhagavad Gita is that about 5,000 years ago, there is a battle in the world. It is the biggest battle ever in history. So two families, one family, they have it's a battle between one family. So one family, one side is righteous, and the other side is evil-minded. So Arjuna, Yudhishthira, and his other brothers, they are on the side of righteousness. And his cousins, Duryodhana and other Karna and other cousins, they are on the side of evilness. So these two sides are fighting each other. And Krishna is the mutual family member of these two fighting parties. So Arjuna, as the friend of Krishna, he asks Krishna, what's the meaning, what's the purpose of such battle? Because on the opposite side, the so-called enemies, they're actually our family members. So what's the point of fighting? If we win by killing our family members and obtain the kingdom, how can we be happy? Because family members are killed. And if we lose the battle, there's no happiness. So Arjuna, he's asking Krishna, saying that no, whether win or lose, there's no happiness. So Krishna, he answers Arjuna's doubt about whether to fight or not. He says, actually, in the material world, there's no happiness. Eventually, everyone is going to face difficulty and unhappiness. So, the purpose of life is not to gain happiness on the material level. Materially, no one can be happy. Because Arjuna, in his mind, he's reasoning on material platform, saying this body and happiness in relation of this body. But Krishna, as the ultimate teacher, he is pointing out beyond the body, there is spiritual soul. So the self is not the body. The body is only external. And the self, who is like a driver of this vehicle, which is the body, and they are different. The body and the owner of the body are different. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita gives the ABC knowledge of spirituality. Because Arjuna, he has he's perplexed by the meaning of life. And Krishna, he says the body is going to die. And as a fighter, a soldier, your duty is to fight for the righteous purpose. So that is the first lesson given by Krishna. Hare Krishna.